Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is Astrology for Happiness and Success from Aries to Pisces. Create the life you want based on your astrological sign by Mecca Woods. So this book kind of is what the title suggests. It goes over each of the signs. It really focuses just on your sun sign. Doesn't go any deeper into your chart whatsoever, really. Each section has a lot of stuff. So flip to Virgo, we'll just use this as the example. It gives you a brief little page of information, gives you the general dates, then gives you another kind of overview of this particular sign, and then it goes into your approach to love, and then it goes into a color, like a couple colors for each sign. Sense for power and seduction. You got, specifically for this one, you've got fruity, herbal, floral. Each one has like at least 4 or 5 different options. Then you have daily affirmations for love, and then how to deal with heartbreak and breakups, handling relationships with family and friends. Then it moves into your career. So it goes a little bit into like stereotypical for your sign. What would be a good job for that sign? And then it's got affirmations for that particular sign. And then it's got journal prompts, dealing with disappointment, your approach to wellness, making your home your castle, how each sign apparently is supposed to organize their house. And then again, specifically for Virgo here, you've got staying grounded, tips for keeping your footing, get back into your body, do some self-affirming, take a trip, watch what you eat, give yourself a challenge, tending the earth, tips for relieving stress, ask for help, no cell phones please, stick to the present and do nothing. And then it moves on to the next sign. And some of these are a little bit different for each one, but for the most part it's kind of that same general thing where it just goes into different stuff. Like the end of the next one for Libra is keep it easy breezy, tips for relieving stress, the art of receiving, make time for you and only you, don't sweat the small stuff, make peace with your anger. Like it's got different things kind of related to each sign. I gave it a 3, but it's like a good 3, but it's still like just a 3. So first of all, there's no conclusion. It's always a big pet peeve of mine. You go through all of these pages with an author and then they can't bother to say bye. It's like if you're having a conversation and then they just walk away and you're like, okay. Or like if you attended like a lecture or something, like a TED Talk, and then there's no conclusion, just like they're talking, having the sentence, and then they just walk off the stage and you're like, there's no like wrap up, okay? So I hate when books do that. And there's no sources, which is kind of becoming a bit irksome for me because this is something that happens a lot in astrology. Where are you getting your information? I would love to know. You don't say. I always look in the sources, the references. Books call it different things, but in general, it's the where did you get your information from section. There's nothing, so I have no idea where you got this. Also, this book just really heavily relies on stereotypes that aren't really that helpful, and I mean, sometimes it can be like kind of relevant, but not really. And again, I know different people for pretty much every single astrological sign at some point. I know somebody that I've worked with or is in my family that fits into that sign, so it's like, okay, this doesn't apply. Like some of them, and like some of the signs people get pretty accurate-ish. Again, I think me as a crab is pretty accurate, but also when I look at like my moon sign, where I'm a Taurus, it's like, yeah, I do kind of do that. Like that vibe, but in the relationships era, you know, the whole just emotional self, the moon of your life. And yet my rising is in Capricorn. And so like I find myself doing a lot of the Capricorn things despite technically being a crab, because I hate our name. Could we please pick a different name? It's the worst. Of all of the names, it is the worst. So I wish we had a different name. So I will always refer to us as the crabs. But even for the other ones that I know, because there's quite a few of us in the family tree and our general community around us, that it's a busy month. There's a lot of birthdays in there. And the thing is none of us are the same. none of us present the same. Whether it's women to men, we don't really have any non-binary in the family, so I can't really speak to their experience, but whether it's men or women, it doesn't really fit completely. Like, again, for me, I feel like most of the time it does. But then I compare to other people and I'm like, oh no. And like, husband, absolutely not. He's supposed to be a Leo. He is not a Leo. Like, I love him, but he is not the have to be the center of the universe kind of a person that everyone claims Leos to be. And like, even friends that I've had that were Leos, female and male, typically it's the people who are egotistical to begin with that happen to be Leos have that energy, where if they're not, they're chill. Like, again, whether it is a man or a woman, doesn't matter, they've been fine. But if they already have this inflated ego attitude, I don't think it matters what sign, because you could probably find that in every single sign. And like, Aries, no. Like, the Aries I know, absolutely not. And it's just, and then there's ones that I'm like, you're technically the same sign, but like, you are not the same vibe. Like, I have a niece and my brother who are both Pisces. They are not the same at all. Like, my brother, he's pretty Pisces. My niece is not. If she was an Aries, would make more sense, to be honest. And she's not like a cusp. She's definitely still very much in the middle of Pisces. So that's just one of those things with astrology books that I'm like, I feel like we pick a box and we just run with it. And it's just such a stereotype. It's one of the things that I want to get more into, is learning more about astrology and like where these boxes actually are. Because it's the same thing with other parts of the craft, right? Like, you could look at the tools and be like, ah, yes, my usual examples. Of course, this represents the man, because it's a stick. Of course, you know. And then if it's a cup shape, obviously, it's a girl. Because why not? It's just the most generic option possible. And then when you dive deeper, you can go, actually, the wand doesn't have to represent that. It could represent your spine, because it runs everything in your entire body. What? It directs the flow of things inside of you. That could represent the wand instead, because everyone has a spine. And, you know, a cup could not represent the uterus. It could represent your hand and, you know, the first cups we had. Wild concept. You know, there's just options that once you dive deeper, you're like, actually though. Same with deities. Anyone who initially, like, it just, even the one I'm reading right now, that's Wicca by Harmony Nice, I'm not through it, but it will be coming. And even that one, looking at the deities, it's like, ah yes, the most generic options available. Cool. Because again, like, why would we go deeper? You know? Just the Morrigan. She's just war. That's it. And then, once you dive deeper, you're like, oh, actually, she's a lot of things. Not just war. That's just the front face. And then you get past the cover, and you're like, oh, there's depth in here. Got it. Same vibe. But I'm feeling like that's the thing with astrology. It's gonna have the same thing. These signs, you dive deeper. Because again, even though, like, the only one that I found that actually really was helpful was the, like, going deeper into your signs for, like, your sun sign and your rising sign. And I cannot for the life of me remember the title of the book, but it was a yellow cover. That one, I remember reading it some point in the recent past. And that one talked about how your rising sign is like what you were in a past life, and the lesson you're trying to learn now, and the energy you're trying to learn this time around is your sun sign. That one makes more sense when you do that, because then suddenly husband makes way more sense. He is not a Leo at all. He's definitely more of his rising sign. And then I'm over here with my little Capricorn rising, like, oh, that's why it feels familiar. That's why I want to do that. That makes sense. See, you dive deeper. These books don't do that. And so it's hard to find, like, the good ones. But I think as I dive deeper into it, maybe we'll find some good ones and not just stereotypes. That could be an option. Overall, I mean, it's like interesting. ish, but also I did notice all of the affirmations for the romantic love sections. Once again, we ace people, we do not exist. Just in case you're curious, we don't. We're just these unicorns running amok. We're the aliens of the queer community. We're just these weirdos that just are here running among the humans, I guess, because it's just every time, every single time. I still need to write that. Maybe that'll be my like June project of like Ace Witch. It's got to be a thing because like, oh my god, every time, every single time. Anyways, so yeah. Overall, I would recommend this book if you are a beginner and you're wanting to learn more specifically just about your sun sign. It's got some information in there for you. I would love to know your thoughts on this one and any other of the Zodiac books you recommend in the comments down below. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to a bunch of stuff, it's patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. I do have a lot of DNFs coming up. My god, I have DNF'd like so many books. Like, I was so ready to not have another DNF, and I was like, okay, I got through all of my audiobooks. The last one I'm listening to doesn't suck. We'll be good. And then no, this one sucked so bad. That's how far I made it. Look at that. That's just, this is the unread. This is the red. Like, nothing. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, so I was like, you know what? It's another DNF. Sorry, patrons. One day we'll finish a book. It's not gonna be for a while. Because I think I've got like the rest of this month is all DNFs, and now it's moving into April with DNFs, and I'm like, oh my god, because I only post those once a week. So yeah, patrons, I'm sorry. One day we'll have good stuff. We'll have good books, I promise. I have a whole shelf. They can't all suck, right? There's got to be at least one that's good. Fingers crossed. Anyways, thank you for coming along for my rambles, for watching all the way to the very end, and until next time, blessed be. Oh, if you want to buy my books, they're down below too, by the way. That's also a thing. I'm working on my next one. It's a lot. I have to do like 5 chapters today and every day till the end of the month to get it done, because it's like 80 chapters. So yeah, buy my books. They're down below. Till next time, blessed be.